Hello and welcome back to City Skylines 2, and today we're going to be building in the town of New Blackwood City. It's going to be played on the same map, but we are moving to a corner of the map today where we will be building a new district and township, the town of Arwynia, a district purchased by one of my viewers with their channel points. Today we had two different areas we could pick from, and over here and over here. And basically we ended up decided going with this new land right here, and we need to get it prepped and ready. And what that's going to mean is just buying the tiles and then doing a little bit, not a lot, but just a little bit of landscaping to round off any rough edges that might be in the terrain. Not changing the terrain, just rounding off any rough edges. And we'll start off by making our first city connection with a highway, adding electricity and water and sewage. Originally, we are going to, at the start of the build, be on external water and power for this edge of the map, but eventually we will get it connected in. With our connections all set up and made, we're going to go ahead and get the roads ready, and I'm going to go with a 2-lane road for right now. I might change that up in the future, and of course naming the new district. Now that that's done, I'm going to begin the basic layout of the township, and while elements of it might be familiar with New Blackwood, after all, it is going to be in the same region as New Blackwood, so it would make sense that some of the town's layout would be similar. I do intend to try to make a little bit of I wanted to make a different style to the township, so it will have a basic layout, but the extended layout of the surrounding area I want to be different. And one of the things that we're going to do to make our town distinctly different from New Blackwood is by building a custom main interchange in our city. Now that we have the main interchange connected, we're going to adjust these roads. They were too close, but I did lay them out on purpose. But now that we are closer in, it is time to turn them into the bridges that you saw me connect them as. And we're changing the number of lanes available as you approach the interchange. Just removing the crosswalks and stoplights. And now I'm going to begin construction of the pedestrian overpass. With the overpass complete and just finishing touches on the new road layout, it's going to be time to start working on some city services. So we're going to go ahead and begin placing fire, police, and medical facilities in our town. Now that we have the services set up and the basic layout of my town up and running, I'm going to go ahead and start zoning in the mixed density areas of our town and starting to lay out just some of the additional areas, including I wanted to make little cul-de-sacs here. And I wasn't sure which style of low density housing I wanted on this side of the water, so I ended up experimenting with multiple different styles. But I had planned originally to build lots of sprawling suburbs coming out from these rounded corners with one little cul-de-sac on the interior. And originally was pretty interesting, but I'm not sure if I will continue to go with that theme in the future. But for now, I did experiment with these 4 little cul-de-sacs and made them all different types of low density housing to really kind of just experiment to see with what populated. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and put some service farms out in the area to help feed the people and to provide some industry jobs until I am ready to add a industry area. And while we're waiting for the town to zone in, decided to go ahead and do some detailing here. So we're going to go ahead and detail our interchange with some lovely little bushes. and just finishing it up with some trees, and that's going to come out looking really pretty in the springtime. I really cannot wait to see it. Really pleased with that one. And I'm just going to kind of inventory the city here for just a minute. And more farms, I think. The more farms that we have, the more jobs that will be available in the short term for some more housing. And after thinking it over for just a minute or two and playing around with the available bridges and roads, I did decide to go ahead and unlock the talents that I needed in order to get that Golden Gate Bridge to run across the water here. In the meantime, we're going to go ahead and swap out the zoning for the low density houses. We're going to make everything mostly kind of a southwestern style building in the town. So we're going to go with a mix of southwestern and northeastern buildings. But for now, we're going to start go ahead and planning in a row housing and getting that medium density started. And after thinking it over, we're going to go ahead and add in some additional sidewalks and connect them in from the back streets. And the idea is to just reduce any pedestrian traffic that is possible on the connecting side streets where they intersect with the main street, but also to just kind of add to the existing layout and just kind of beautify the area and fill in the gaps between the buildings and the interchange. While I'm waiting on the city to do its thing and to grow, I did debate on building a waterfront area with these inlets and whatnot, and I decided to go ahead and purchase the tiles so that way we can expand our city. So just kind of planning out where I generally am going to want certain roads. I do play around with it. It is a little bit of trial and error, but I've decided to go ahead and build both a port facility and a shipyard. So that is what you see beginning construction here today. So obviously took a little bit of trial and error as I'm learning the new patch and how to set up my port. It took me a while to figure out the size of the area that I would need in order to make it happen. But after quite a bit of trial and error, I think I have discovered the size that I of the landscape around the port area that I would need to plan out all of the buildings that I want to add in. But you're going to see the port begin to quickly start to develop.
We interrupt our regular programming to bring you breaking news out of the township of Arwynia, where a powerful tornado has touched down within the last hour. Early reports describe significant damage across multiple neighborhoods, and emergency crews are just now beginning to assess the situation. The tornado preliminarily rated carved a path from the western farmlands, Trombland Stray, toward the expanding downtown districts, an area that until tonight was under rapid development in the city's long-term growth plans. We're hearing about overturned vehicles, damaged power lines, and several homes along Riverbend Road and the new boulevard suffering major structural damage. At this moment, no confirmed fatalities have been reported, but multiple injuries have been described by first responders. We go live to our reporter in the field.
Thanks, Studio. I'm standing here along what used to be the main commercial row of Arwynia. Behind me, you can see where an entire line of storefronts has been ripped open, roofs peeled away, debris scattered across the streets, and streetlights twisted like wire. Residents who rode out the storm say they had less than 2 minutes of warning before the tornado made direct impact. Fire departments from New Blackwood and surrounding towns are converging on the area. Search teams are going door to door, and a temporary triage station has been set up in the parking lot of the old Arwynia market. Officials are urging everyone to stay off the roads, unless absolutely necessary, to keep rescue routes clear.
Authorities are also asking anyone who's safe and able to check in with family and neighbors, and to report missing individuals to the emergency hotline now active on the city website. Power is out across nearly 60% of Arwynia, and utility crews say full restoration could take days. We'd continue to monitor this developing situation closely. For now, our thoughts are with the people of Arwynia, as this community faces what may be one of the most devastating weather events in its history.
All right, and I'm going to go ahead and begin the layout for the shipyard. I'm going to basically using the natural inlets and little water cut-ins to the landscape here. I've decided to go ahead and I'm using that as inspiration to go ahead and place the shipyard in. So what we're going to do is basically have a shipyard right next to our port, and it took me a little bit to figure out where exactly I wanted it, but I laid out the basic roads for it to service the shipyard. And I start off way down here to the left, but eventually decide to go ahead and move the shipyard closer to the actual port, reserving the land down here for what will later become the garbage facilities for the area. Alright, so I went ahead and moved the shipyard over, and I'm beginning the final design process on it. And just checking the length that I want for the cargo ships. And there we go. So I'm going to just get the land ready and begin laying it out and building it out. So there will be a little bit more trial and error, but for the most part, it's going to quickly develop. I have built a shipyard before in the past, but I didn't remember my exact design that I ended up doing. But that's part of the fun of building. Every build is just a little different. So I've completed the basic layout for the large shipyard, and now I'm going to begin work on the supporting roads and structures, as well as building a small shipyard for smaller craft. A bit more trial and error as we start placing buildings and getting the port set up the way that we want it, and getting the buildings all facing the correct directions and getting them all placed so that way they're not on top of roads and things. I went to remove the trees and accidentally removed all of the ships that I had placed, so gonna go ahead and have to replace those here in a minute. But I'm gonna finish laying down the surfaces of the area that I want to develop first. Gonna go ahead and flatten out the land here and place down a couple parking lots for employees. And now to replace all that shipping that I accidentally despawned. All right, and now we're going to go ahead and add in our refuse facilities. That's going to include the garbage facilities as well as a industry processing garbage facility as well. So going to go ahead and get that up and running and operational. And zone in some buildings. Next, I'm going to go ahead and get my water treatment plants built, and these are going to be fully operational, fully upgraded, and they are going to service the entire map once we are finished setting them up. Having set that up, it's time to go ahead and begin the layout for our industry area. So I'm going to go ahead and rapidly construct a industry grid back here in these forests, and we're going to turn this into a major industry facility. With that grid fleshed out, we're going to go ahead and begin the construction of the Golden Gate Bridge that we unlocked earlier. That's going to require unlocking these tiles that you see here, and then of course drawing it in and connecting it to the major highway. So there is a more direct route from the city or township of New Blackwood to the township of Arwynia. All right, we're going to go ahead and zone in this industry grid that we had set up now that we have the roads connected and the utilities connected. And we're going to begin some more finalizing that detailing we talked about earlier on the sidewalks. Just squaring up the walk paths between the neighborhoods. Moving on from that, we're going to go ahead and begin to get our area over here ready for a passenger terminal. So that's what we're going to do here, just smoothing out the land, getting it all ready, and then placing down the road so that way we can build the passenger terminal for our entire area, for our shipping, not shipping industry, but the cruise ship industry. And I went ahead and began building a harbor because I'm going to place a ferry and a fishing industry back here in this little harbor back here in the back. So gonna be interesting. And just going to go ahead and adjust the angles here on the bridge. I want to make sure that the grade is reasonable for my commuters. So I went ahead and readjusted that just a bit, and I think it came out pretty nice there. All right, and I wanted to go ahead and get this area right here ready for redevelopment, or rather development. So we're going to go ahead and get it ready for some more housing. And the way we're going to do that is go ahead and place down new roads with parking, so that way we can make some medium density row housing out here on these roads. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and install our tram service, and I think we're gonna go ahead and place it right here. So we're gonna go ahead and get the road ready and out of the way, and then place it down and begin upgrading the streets around it. So in order to do that, we're going to upgrade the roads with a tram service, and I want to go ahead and change the round circular road into a medium-sized road, so that way it can function as a service road for public transportation, so that way the citizens can get around the city using the tram service without disrupting any traffic. So that's what we're doing here, and we're just upgrading. It's going to cut into some of our businesses, but that's what we need to do in order to maintain good progress. And I'm going to go ahead and install a park right here. So I'm going to go ahead and put a pedestrian path down and begin installing a few park amenities, and then setting up a nice sidewalk that's going to go right up the middle, and hopefully just build a really beautiful park. And wouldn't you know it, right when we were in the middle of the stream and the build, the game, and actually the power crashed and we lost the game. So what ended up happening was we had a power outage and I ended up having to end the stream there. So that'll be the end of this episode, and we're going to take a brief little tour of the work that we've done. Fortunately, autosave did save most of the build, so when we pick up the next episode, we will continue with the construction of that harbor and the shipyard. I did not get a chance to finish all that detailing, mostly because I have a little bit of ADD when it comes to trying to build my city. But at the end of the day, when I get bored with a section, I just move on to something else and I come back and finish detailing. And that's what ended up happening. So let's go ahead and take that city tour. And when we come back for the next episode, we will hopefully begin to finish up all that detailing. And I will try to be better at finishing projects in the future one at a time rather than jumping from one to another. Thank you for your patience and your time. Here is the final city tour.